All right, all right, all right. What's up, fam? How we doing? First, I guess, official podcast. Just ripping it solo today. Um, so it's interesting, when I kind of started this podcast, um, had a lot of ambition, had a lot of, you know, ideas just flowing through my head. Um, Definitely wanted to make it a guest and host type of podcast. Wanted to make sure that I could get some interesting people on, get some of my best friends, a lot of them all primarily from Texas, on the podcast. And this idea came up in July. It is now November 6th. So, um, it's interesting. I built obviously this whole set in my garage. That was kind of the compromise between my wife and myself because I wanted to find a place in our house for it, or there really wasn't a good place in our backyard. However, we compromised on the garage. I wanted to definitely make sure that it was a video podcast, but to I think my fault is, or maybe more of an overestimation. I thought that it was going to be really easy, and I of course wanted to get all the best equipment, the best cameras, the best lighting, the best microphones. And then of course I would have all these guests ready to go, lined up, and everybody's schedule would perfectly fit, and everybody could come over to my garage and we could have a drink and hang out and just talk about their perspectives, growing up in Texas, living in Texas, having a profession in Texas, like what's going on, right? Mm. But what I came to learn is, this stuff is hard. People's schedules don't always line up, especially with people my age in their 30s, with a family, with kids, with responsibilities. And so, um, and then also, I just really, again, back to the point, I wanted to make sure everything was perfect and we had, all these amazing things. I wanted to make it so professional. And when it comes down to it, like, you know, um, just showing myself a little bit of grace, I'm still very new to this, and this is all very new to me. And I think the idea, which turned into something that I just wanted to do for fun and really express my creative side of my brain, and just be able to have interesting people come on and chat, got away from me to perfectionism. So here I am. I'm in a t-shirt and shorts and my favorite hat, my Texas hat. We just actually put up our Christmas tree because why the hell not? It's been so damn hot in Texas that, November 6th, when we finally get a little bit of cold come through, we're putting up the Christmas lights. So I've only done the inside, but this is me. And just wanted to kind of take a little bit of time in this first episode just to introduce myself, introduce kind of where the idea of Texas on my mind came from, what kind of led me down this crazy path, and just be able to, start putting content out. I know that this is going to evolve into something organic and fun and interesting. But for now, definitely just want to chat with you. For those that are listening, probably the six of you, maybe, about the idea and kind of a little bit about me. My name is Brantley Smith. I grew up in Dallas, Texas, in kind of North Dallas area. Wound up going to a Richardson Independent School District. It's still considered Dallas, but it was right on the edge of Richardson. I have one younger brother. two parents that are still together, still live in Dallas. I have one grandfather who's 92, who's still kicking and up in Dallas as well. I moved to Austin in 2011. I wound up going to A&M because my grandfather, class of 52, was a big Aggie. And although my mother went to Baylor and my dad went to Mississippi State, I really only visited those schools once in my life. And it seemed like every single year growing up, we were going to A&M football games. So I kind of didn't have a choice. Although my brother did go to Texas. So we do have a house divided. But so yeah, I've been growing up in Dallas, or been living in Austin for about 12 years now. Um, really consider myself, you know, enjoy all the activities a normal Texas boy loves. Love going hunting. Had the pleasure of growing up with my dad, who took me hunting. Was able to go deer hunting and bird hunting, pretty much since I was 7 years old, or could hold a rifle. Um, Grew up playing sports. Texas football, high school football was pretty much king where I went to school in Dallas. Was lucky enough to win a state championship with no other than Matthew Stafford, who's now, he's obviously Super Bowl champion. He played, starting quarterback for the Rams, past quarterback for the Detroit Lions, and now living in Austin with a wife and a daughter. Really just starting to kind of settle down, right? But the idea, kind of behind Texas on my mind, it really kind of started when we were heading up back to Dallas from Austin with my daughter and my wife. And it was, 4th of July weekend, or it was the Sunday before the 4th of July, because it was on a Tuesday. And we piled in the car. We took my wife's car because it just had a better situation. We piled in with our two dogs. And of course, because we took my wife's car, we had to stop for gas about an hour north after getting out of Austin. And for those that know, Austin to Dallas is about a 3.5 hour drive. So pulled over in Temple, Texas. We're going up I-35 north. When we pulled over in Temple, Texas, of course, we had to stop and get gas at the humongous Buc-ee's that is there. So for those of you who don't know Buc-ee's, which probably is every single person that's listening to this, it is a gas station on steroids. It is the Walmart of gas stations. Nay, it is the gas station of Texas. I feel like they would take offense for me calling it the Walmart of gas stations. It is an experience. There are 200 gas pumps. When you walk in, it is electric. It is known for having the cleanest, best bathrooms. That's why everybody wants to stop there. It has barbecue. They make their own snacks, beaver nuggets, if you're familiar, their own little treat. You can get anything, beef jerky, candy, chips, you name it, fresh nuts, hot nuts, whatever. They make it. Buc-ee's makes it on their own. And so we of course we stopped. It's like 8 a.m. on a Sunday. And I was just so surprised. I mean, it's always packed, but 8 a.m. on a Sunday. Didn't figure that I'd be waiting in line at a 200 pump gas station to fill up. So I'm sitting there and I'm just, again, like, I've been to Buc-ee's more times than I can count, right? They have them almost everywhere now. They're even outside of Texas. But when I stopped on this very morning, I just was in awe of how many people are at this place on a Sunday at 8 a.m. So after waiting in line, which seemed to be 10 to 15 minutes for, the people ahead of me to get gas, and then being able to fill up, I got back on I-35, and when I was pulling onto the interstate, of course, without fail, there's 4 billboards that says Buc-ee's next stop 166 miles. Like that is their marketing ploy. And something just hit me right then and there that I was like, the founder of Buc-ee's, the guy who started Buc-ee's, I would just like, it would be one of my bucket list items to be able to talk and share a beer with that man or interview that man. And then for the next 2 hours, because my wife decided, hey, I'm going to sit in the back with my daughter, make sure she's okay. And then they both wind up taking a nap. For the next 2 hours, I basically sat there in my own mind thinking about how could I interview Arch Beaver, the individual that started Buc-ee's. And I came to the conclusion that, hey, maybe I could start a podcast. But not any type of podcast. It needed to be about Texas. It needed to be about Texas businesses, or what is happening in Texas right now, right? And I started doing research, about other podcasts. Were there other podcasts about Texas? Were there other podcasts about business in Texas or in Austin? And what I kind of found was there is a lot of Texas history podcasts, quite a few of those, and there is quite a few, business focused podcasts about business within Texas, but in a specific area like Dallas real estate or Houston sports or South Texas hunting, whatever it may be. And there really wasn't a all encompassing podcast that really just brought on interesting people that have really founded and kind of created this amazing culture that we have in Texas. And it really just struck me that this is something that I wanted to do. What would I call it? Well, went through a lot of names, and in my mind, I just was like, well, might as well call it Texas on my mind, right? Luckily, that name was not taken. So yeah. So from here, I'm just really excited to talk about the different perspectives and give my friends, my family, and individual guests that I find interesting that have really shaped this state into what it is now, a platform to talk about themselves, to talk about their background, talk about how they built their businesses, or how did they get into their business, or their passions, or healthcare. Luckily for me, my profession is focused on in the healthcare industry, so hopefully able to have some great individuals on to talk about how our amazing hospital systems and healthcare companies, healthcare providers are shaping the future of Texans and their overall welfare. But yeah, I'm just really excited to kick this thing off. I'd say bear with me as we try to get content out. I think we have a lot of interest in individuals that like to come on and join, and not just be me here sitting with you and chatting. Yeah, very excited. Fun little history lesson for you, and then we'll close it out, because I'm sure you guys are already tired of hearing from me. That's why, again, I'm excited to have guests on in the future, so you can have a little bit more interesting people to chat with and hear from. But I am actually a 6th generation Texan. So my maternal grandmother's great grandfather actually came down from Tennessee. We had, the Republic had been formed. We had won the war of Texas independence, and luckily for my grandfather, his name was Harrison Stanford. He went by Harris. He was able to be granted a land grant from the Republic of Texas. We have some amazing, forms and deeds and things from that, and he was able to, get about a couple hundred acres from the Republic of Texas, and kind of put our roots in, and the Stanfords kind of settled here, and kind of trickle down to my great grandfather and his father being in real estate and actually forming along with several other settlers, a little town called Farmersville, which is in North Texas. So my Texas roots run deep. I'm excited to hopefully have guests that kind of share a similar history or genealogy coming from the Republic. And thank you so much for tuning in for official episode 1 of Texas on My Mind. Thank you so much.